Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the final whistle. I was nearly going to say the Fatback Four because that's what I do. I'm Gav. I have a cold. I have a big fucking jacket on me, a hat, everything. You can see Garbreen there. You can see Marty there. Liverpool 4, Crystal Palace 3. This is going to be about 20 minutes or so reaction show. You're going to get this after every game from here on in. Lads, where do I start? Gar. That is a bonkers Liverpool game that brings me back to the Brendan Rodgers era and probably some of the Jurgen Klopp one, but I don't always speak for all of us when I say I can do without that shit week in, week out for the next 15 weeks or so.
Just as soon as I saw Milner at right full to start the game, in the game against Wolves, I know we won that game also, but he was quite suspecting parts of that as well, Gav, wasn't he, in fairness? And as soon as I saw that today, and only about 20 minutes in, Zaha had pulled onto Robbo's, so I just thought it was quite strange. And then he pulled over the other side to Milner's side, and then I went, oh no, here we go. And that's when all that started to happen. He constantly took pelts down that left-hand side at Milner. And it was scaring me. I'm sure it scared every other fan, and we saw what happened because of it. Yeah,
absolutely. Marty, heart and mouth stuff. Even when we go 4-2 up, we decide to concede another one. It was just a mad game, wasn't it? From the start, it was just, we were on top, and then they go and score, and it's like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was Rodgers 13-14, wasn't it? Is in that Norwich game away where it's, I don't even know where to begin with it. Yeah, a bit of perspective. Obviously, the back four. Matip's just come back from his injury. Milner he's Milner and he's solid, but he's not going to do a job against pacey forward. But yeah, heart in mouth. But I tweeted at halftime, these are the kind of tests you're going to come up against when the squad's stretched, the injuries are there, people coming back from injury, makeshift fullbacks, and you got to get the job done. We 1-0 down at halftime, came out, it's job done. It was absolute garbage, but job done.
Yeah, absolutely, job done. Go on, Gar.
I thought my team played quite well today. I wouldn't be his biggest fan, but I thought he actually done very, very well in fairness with what he had to do. You can't have a go at him for any of the goals. I don't think corner. There's probably a couple that fall there. I thought he played quite well generally throughout the game.
Yeah, I thought he did. It's just, I'm looking at that game and for the first 20-25 especially, I thought there was a little bit in us, but overall I thought there's not enough creativity. I thought we're just looking to get the ball wide and swing crosses in. That was the majority of our attacking play for the first half, I suppose. But
yeah.
And then that kind of, I suppose, kind of not a hammer blow, but a big enough blow. Do you know what I mean? When Townsend puts us in front. But again, you look at Zaha and you think, we need to get rid of him. We need to pull him out of the game. But we didn't. And Townsend scores. Marty, the first half overall, it looked a bit of a hangover from the City game more than the Brighton game last week did.
Yeah, I think it was one of those games, where it was quite clear that Palace were going to sit deep. And it looked like it was going to be one of those where we just, switching side to side, and just have to wait, be patient, and break them down. I think the goal almost kind of gave us that kick up the backside, because we looked quite content just to kind of play through the midfield, try and switch out to the flanks. I thought Keita struggled a little bit to kind of break down the flank in the same way that Mane and Shaqiri do. And it kind of had that vibe of, a couple of the games we played at home this season where we may have got 1-0 towards later in the game, maybe a 2-0. And then, you could kind of see their goal. When that press happened, you thought for a minute, here we go, we're going to win it high at the pitch. And then as soon as they kind of got that switch out to the left flank, you thought, all right, we're in trouble here. And you could kind of see that goal coming. I mean, Palace are one of those weird teams. They don't seem to get results, but they've got some really, really good individual quality in their team. With Zaha, I think Townsend's a good player. I thought Ayew, he's not technically brilliant, but he's a nuisance. They've got some really good players, and I think they caused us problems in that first half, and then they got we didn't really create anything. It was a lot of 75-80% possession, and a little bit too flush. We started getting a bit, started rushing our play a little bit, and we couldn't really, for all the possession, we couldn't really say that we deserved to be in front. Didn't deserve to be behind, of course, but it just had the feeling of one of those really boring games. And then we got hit, on a break that we would have been proud of. To be perfectly honest, it was a great goal for Palace.
Yeah, it was. Zaha stands Milner up and does him fairly easily. Everyone gets attracted towards the front post, and Townsend comes around the back and finishes it well. In fairness to him, it's 1-0 half time. Gar, we decide to start playing second half and properly playing. We get the equaliser and we get the second fairly quickly. That finish from Salah, Gar, is it a good finish? Is it is it a good finish, or is it? Did he think he was getting hit by the keeper? Something about it just maybe it didn't look right because the keeper just forgot he could use his arms. I don't know. But and then the next one, Firmino gets the ball in a tight situation. I think it takes a bit of a deflection, but it's in the corner, and that was Liverpool coming back to the fore again, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then I tweeted about Mane's finishing when he misses the sitter. He seems to score the harder ones, doesn't he? In fairness, but now what it is worrying me though, Gav, is and Marty, is the fact that we look to be carrying Keita through games at times. For me, Shaqiri has that. It's written all over him to play in a game like that, to overload each flank with Robbo and obviously Milner at that side as well, because he seems to be taking up them areas when he comes in, and it just seems that in games we've seen Keita play at times. Yeah, he has done some nice things. He plays a good pass obviously in today to set up the goal. But it just seems we're carrying him too much in that midfield at times, and we're not in a position where we can carry players at the moment or try and bed players into a team.
Marty, do you think we're not giving Palace enough credit here? Because on Periscope there, Keegan is saying, don't forget that this is the Palace team that got a result away to City. Do we need to give them a bit more credit for what they've done today?
Yeah. I never want to give Hodgson credit because I can't stand him. But, he had a game plan today. He knew that we were going to come out, have possession. And he would have looked at that first half, and he made a change like, Gar said that he switched Zaha to really attack Milner, and it came to fruition. And, sometimes you're going to get, we've always said Palace are a bogey team. They always seem to give us a good game. They either beat us at home in a freak result or they run us close like today. And I think the reason is, they've got that style of play, and they've got players in their team that shouldn't really be at Palace. Let's be honest, Zaha could play. I'd take him at Liverpool.
Is that Martin,
go something at Chelsea?
Is that it exactly? They know what way they want to play, and the way they want to play is get it to Zaha. And they know their limits as players, and they think just get it to him. We've every chance we get it to him, and they literally clear out the pitch and leave him over there on the left on his own and try to get it to him.
Yeah, they're a different animal when he's not fit. If you look at the stats for it, when Palace don't have Zaha, they just lose constantly, don't score, and he's just a threat. We talk about Milner, and Milner had a bit, he had a torrid time with Zaha, but if Zaha's playing a good game, he'll give any right back in the world a problem.
Course,
his pace, he's a very, very, very good player. And it's just, I think he done that little bit of time at United, and it kind of hindered him a little bit. And I think, perhaps people look at that and think, he took that step up. Can he do it again? But I'd be gobsmacked if he doesn't move in the summer to one of the big six.
Well, he's on big money at Palace. Big money. We're talking 150k plus, because they know that he's their main star man, their only star man, I suppose. And for me, I've watched him a few times, and I find him a bit of hit and miss. But you've mentioned United there. I think if he goes to a big six club again, I don't think he spawns that chance again. I really don't.
I think, Gav, if you get him under a coach who can develop him that bit, i.e., Guardiola or a Klopp who can work on them parts of his game and really develop him, you're talking about a different animal here. He goes into a different class of category, in fairness.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, watching him today, I was very impressed with him. He kept hold of the ball. He was strong on it. He went down easy a few times, but everybody does. And he sets up the force. He's running at Milner all the time. He gets Milner sent off. He's the catalyst for everything they do. But lads, we're 2-1 up, and then we can see it. I'm trying to remember the fucking goals here. There was that many of them. 2-2, James Tompkins. I watched it on a very, very legal stream. On NBCSN, And Jesus Christ, if they really want the Palace to get something out of this game, you know. But the commentator said it perfectly. You will not see a more simple and straightforward corner routine in your life. That's what it was. Get it to the back post, you know, and cause confusion in the middle and let a guy peel off the back post. For me, Van Dijk could do better, be a bit stronger. Fabinho, I think, is the man that loses Tompkins. But in credit to him again, Gar, he puts it away. It's a good header. If we score that goal, we're saying it's a great header.
It's a great header in fairness, Gavin, and they've blocked 2 or 3 players of our players off from getting it in fairness. So they've obviously worked the corner many times in training this week, you know, knowing where to try and hurt us, and it's worked straight away. And then about 10 minutes later, it happens again, and the referee is obviously not notified to it by Liverpool players in fairness, but which is quite smart, boys. But now it's a good corner, Gav. It's a good goal. You can't blame it. They block off players, you know, illegally or whatever you want to call it. But it's a good goal. Let's be honest here. You know, we deal with the teams. You know.
Yeah, we do deal with the teams. But you notice one of their players is trying to hold Van Dijk down. Fabinho gets caught in the melee in the middle because he doesn't know where Tompkins has gone. And you get to make it 2-2. I was very worried at that stage, Marty. I thought, you know something, we could bash these now and Zaha could get away down the left again, because he was, every time he got it, even the Liverpool fans in the ground, you could hear that kind of lull when he got the ball, because you were thinking, here he goes again. But Marty, it's 3-2, and the ball that was working for us for a lot of the game was this diagonal over their centre halves and full backs who were very, very narrow, and that was our outlet. But again, Milner, I think it's Fabinho that plays him in. I could be wrong. I think it was.
No, you're right.
It was, he plays him in. He doesn't make the best contact on it, but there's some sort of voodoo shit going on at the cop end with opposition goalkeepers this season. I don't care what it is. Bruce Gobelaar must have pissed on both posts or something along them lines, because Speroni, I don't know what he's doing, but he goes out. I don't know whether he tries to punch it, catch it with one hand, and he ends up flapping it back over his own head for Mo Salah to come in and knock it in. And then Mo Salah looks like a fish in a fucking fisherman's net. When he hits the net, he's all over the shop. But that makes it 3-2. Marty, big relief at that. Big relief.
Yeah, it was. Speroni, I don't know what he's doing. He must have had 100 quid on himself to score an own goal. I don't know.
I think they've given it to Salah. I think they have given it to Salah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. He has hand Tourette's.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that was.
He reminded me of Andy with his hands and his crazy hands going mental. That's what it reminded me of, Andy welcoming the Man City bus. But it was just all over the place.
That emphasised the point that I made in the first half. You know, the keeper's like 106. He hasn't played since December 2017. Why we were not bombarding him with shots? You know, he was clearly, you could see it even with the Mane goal. You know, he fell down so slow. He's clearly not as agile as you're going to see. So that was one thing I didn't understand. But yeah, the third one went in, and you see things and you think, you know, when you win a title and you know you overcome, like, you know, going level, going behind, etc. But when you get these little bits of luck, how often do you see a keeper do that? You just don't see it very often unless you're Jordan Pickford. And you know, it does make you think, you know, we're getting this luck that we never used to get before. You know, that season's gone by, that would be our keeper, that would be Mignolet throwing that in the back of the net.
A United fan texted me just before full time and said, "That's the luck you need." That's all he texted me. That's the luck you need. I was speaking to him during the week and I was saying, look, you know, us on the podcast and in WhatsApp groups are wondering, is 4 points enough? What will we drop? What will they drop? The conversation goes on every day, and what he was saying to me as a United fan was, you need luck. Watch all the United teams that have won league titles. Okay, they've won some of them at a canter, but there's always been a breaking point for them where they break the rest of the league with a bit of luck or a last minute goal, which they were notorious for. So you have to take these things when they come along. Mane, I thought, was